Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Duncan and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Now that I finally hit Masters, I feel like I'm qualified to give you guys my official top 10 brawlers that I think you should be playing in ranked if you want to also reach Masters. We've got a bunch of brawlers to get through for this list here, guys, but if you are looking forward to a top 10 video, please make sure you let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. And of course, remember to subscribe to the channel if you aren't subscribed already. But with all of that out of the way, guys, let's just go ahead and get into the top 10 video. Alright guys, before we get into our official top 10 list, there are a couple of brawlers that were just barely short of making our top 10 here. Either because they get countered too hard, they're only good in specific maps or game modes. But with that being said, the first one is going to be Frank. I think that he's absolutely fantastic in many situations. One of the most difficult brawlers to deal with if you don't have a comp that can deal with it. But at the same time, if you do, then you're pretty cooked. As a Frank, like, there's definitely a lot of things that counter you extremely hard, but in the right situation, he's absolutely broken. So that's going to be our first honorable mention. Next up, we've got one of my favorite brawlers, Mandy. I think Mandy's absolutely fantastic. In Bounty and Knockout, she's, like, clearly a top 3 brawler. But with that being said, you can't really, like, run her anywhere you want to. You can't do it in Gem Grab. You can't really do it in Brawl Ball or Heist or anything like that. So for that reason, she's probably not going to make that list. But she's so oppressive in the right situation, so we still love Mandy. If the game doesn't end here... Okay, let me drag this game on a little bit longer. Okay, next up on the honorable mention list is going to be Buster. Similar story to Frank. He's a very good brawler, just not necessarily the best in every single situation. The one thing he does have over Frank, though, is that he's much harder to counter because you do have that shield. You do have that pole gadget, which I guess Frank has as well. But I think Buster's a pretty fantastic brawler, not one that I go too often. And then last up on our honorable mentions, we are going to have Barley, the second best thrower in the game in my opinion. Very versatile, but there's just not necessarily a single mode where Barley's like clearly the best pick there. Great heist brawler, great brawl ball brawler, but with all of that out of the way, guys, that's going to be our honorable mentions. Also, the new brawler, Juju. She's not going to be on this list. Haven't really gotten a lot of time to play with her, but from what I've seen so far, she is so broken. She's going to be an absolutely busted brawler in the next meta, but we're going to keep her off the list for now. But guys, keep it in the back of your mind, guys. Juju's going to be a top 5 brawler. But with that being said, let's get into the actual top 10 list. Jumping straight into number 10 on our list, guys, we are going to have one of my favorite brawlers ever. His name is Rico. He's just an absolutely goated brawler in this meta. He's very good in specifically Knockout and Brawl Ball. And it's kind of like a different playstyle that you would go for each of those. So when you're playing Brawl Ball, you're usually going to want to have the extra damage. You're going to want to be cycling through those hypercharges as much as possible, but just the Brawl Ball map pool right now is so good for Rico. All the maps pretty much, there's going to be like these angles, like this map, Center Stage, Pinball Dreams. They're all great Rico maps. You can do so much damage. You can counter tanks pretty well. And then also in Knockout, like Bell's Rock, Gold Arm Gulch, he's going to be fantastic on those maps as well. There's just those good those good bounces set up for you, and especially with that speed, Rico star power, like there's really not a whole lot you can do. Like he counters like even snipers and throwers pretty decently well. Don't know what my Frank thinks he's doing here, but I mean, I guess I'll give him some time to get the play. So he's got 2 good star powers. He's got 2 broken gadgets. Mostly the bouncy ball gadget is going to be the one you're going to want to use, but that one is so oppressive. It literally does so much damage. Nobody can get into your face. You just pop your balls, and then like, what is the other team actually supposed to do about it? Rico is such a versatile brawler though. You can play him with the speed, you can play him with the damage. And overall, dude, he's just really fun too. And if you're a good Rico, you're a good Rico. And I feel like that's something that's kind of been consistent throughout the entirety of Brawl Stars history. But with that being said, guys, that's just a couple of the reasons I love the Rico, and one of the reasons that he's going to make our list at number 10. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and jump into brawler number 9. At number 9, guys, we are going to have a fan favorite of the DBS channel. It is going to be no other than Diddy. So I think that Diddy is definitely an underrated brawler in general, but as a tank counter, as a mid-range counter, he's so fantastic. There's really not a whole lot that actually counters Chester straight up. I feel like he's one of the most versatile brawlers in the game. He's one of the safer first picks in the game. We're gonna get scored on there. That's a little bit embarrassing, but it doesn't matter. He's got so much damage and so much range to be able to deal with like brawlers like Nita, Sandy, he still counters. Gale and Serge, he counters decently well. I feel like the only things that counter him too hard are like throwers and like Rico. Another reason why Rico is pretty solid. But I mean, he's definitely one of those brawlers where if you're not too sure where to go in like a Brawl Ball, Gem Grab, pretty much any map situation except for like Heist, I would say, you can kind of always make a Chester work. He's definitely really good into a lot of very meta brawlers, as we will see. I feel like the better tank counters in the game, like Serge, Gale, like those are some of the best brawlers right now. And Chester's one of the few things that you can run that's pretty safe into those picks. So for that reason, Chester is going to be one of the more versatile, safe picks on the board. Also, he's just so fun and so good. The damage gear is fantastic on him, and I do like the spicy dice gear better now because you can do stuff like that. And then if you do end up getting one of the crappy star powers or supers, you can just absolutely switch straight to the other one immediately. So he's got that balance there. I'm trying to wait to see if I can get a goaling opportunity here. Maybe this guy's going to choke it. So that probably would have been a good time to use my spicy dice. But I mean, that super got the job done. We're going to get a goal here. Let me think about that much more to say about Chester. I would say that his best game modes are easily Brawl Ball and Gem Grab. Especially like maps like this, like Double Swoosh. He's very safe there. And while he's not necessarily a wall break, you do have that wall break potential with his Dynamite type super. So that's definitely something that can be pretty good if you are against like a Larry or a Dynamite or something of those sorts. You can just make sure that you're cycling towards that bomb and getting your wall breaks in that you need. And then besides that, he's just got fantastic supers. We all know how we feel about the Secret Diddy Mist. Fantastic super. The stun super is pretty solid. The heal super is pretty solid. Even the stupid like Lou type super is pretty good in the right situation. But I definitely think that my favorite of the supers is going to be the Dynamite Bomb. And also, if there were bonus points being awarded for being fun, Diddy would definitely get the bonus points because he's fun, he's funny. We all love Diddy on the channel, and for that reason, he's going to make it into number 9 on our list. But with that being said, let's hop into number 8. Hopping into number 8 on our list, guys, we are going to have, in my opinion, the best tank in the game. It is Daryl. I think that Daryl is an absolutely fantastic pick. He's like a little mix of a tank and an assassin. You can do so much with him. The only reason he isn't a lot higher on this list is because he does get countered pretty hard. But that's the other thing too, is you get so many rolls now with Daryl. Like even if you do get countered, you can sometimes just finesse around it with double rolls. You can pretty much move up the entirety of the map and there's really nothing the other team can do about it. And in Heist, this man is absolutely a menace. You can do so much damage, you can cause so much pressure. In a map like Safe Zone, you literally respawn, roll twice, and you're on the safe. Like, it's that simple. You work towards your next cycle. You use this gadget here. I'll show it off real quick. This gadget here, if you do it in the right way, you can get like literally like 30% onto the Heist safe. Absolutely broken. We're going to roll in here, see if we can just bounce everybody around a little bit. And I mean, definitely not a great idea to go in on 3 people like that, but look how much pressure I caused there. My team's able to move up now. I don't know. I think Daryl's pretty fantastic. As far as what build you want to go with him, absolutely make sure you're rocking with this shield star power. The gadgets, honestly, are both kind of useless, except for in Heist, as I said. And while Daryl does get countered by a lot of the more meta brawlers, Serge is obviously a pretty good example of that. There's definitely a lot of situations you can do as a Daryl to outplay somebody. So we're going to bounce around this guy. We're going to bounce around this guy. And I mean, like, we're getting punished a little bit, but at the same time, like, look at how much survivability we have. Look at how much mobility we have. If you get good with those rolls, you can actually just knock people around forever. It's a little bit disgusting. It's a little bit broken. I do think Daryl is probably due for a nerf at some point, but for now, I mean, like, he's definitely a top 10 brawler. There's really nothing else you can say about it. I don't think there's a tank that I would say is better than him. Frank would be the only one that you could probably argue, but at the same time, Daryl counters Frank pretty hard, so kind of hard to make that argument there. Let's see if we can roll in and make a play, though. We're getting pretty bouncy here, honestly. May even be able to survive for a little bit longer. I feel like I'm not getting too much help from my team here, but it's all good. Let me get away from this Surge. What is my Edgar passing it to? I'm just going to take the death there. Who really cares all that much? I mean, this is ladder, so it's obviously pretty unserious. Also, another reason why Daryl isn't going to be a little bit higher on our list is because he's not necessarily somebody that you can, like, first or second pick. Would not recommend doing that. I do think that you probably will get countered a little harder than you would anticipate, but I mean... yeah, they're gonna score here. Okay, whatever. That's probably about all I gotta say about Daryl, guys. Don't want to drag this video on too long, so that's gonna do it for number 8 on our list. Let's hop into number 7. Hopping into brawler number 7 on our list, guys. It's gonna be one of the best tank counters, one of the best hypercharged brawlers in the game. It is Gale. I think that Gale is absolutely one of the safer brawlers that you can pick, like, especially at like a 2-3 turn, 4-5 turn in draft. He's just so versatile. He's super good into tanks. He's pretty good into mid-range. He's got a broken super. He's got 2 broken star powers, honestly. I definitely think that the stun star power is going to be a little bit better just because it does help you cycle more. And the name of the game with Gale is getting to that hypercharge. So for that reason, I would have that star power. But if you are going to be playing him on a little bit more ranged maps, the slow star power is fantastic. Like Ring of Fire, I think, is a map, for example, where that star power is going to be really good. Let me get this... Yeah, Daryl away from me. I almost called him Gale too. As far as his gadgets, I think that they're not the best, but like there are certain situations where they're just going to be so good. Like if you're able to like jump over this wall here, probably should have been rocking with the jump pad here, but it can just make your team respawn so fast. It's good for you. It's good for your teammates. And then especially in Brawl Ball, the Twister is going to be pretty busted too. Especially into a brawler like Kenji or a brawler like Mortis or a brawler like Daryl. The Twister is just going to be so good for making sure that they can't get up on you. So I'm going to put that here just as a little example here. As far as like game, oh no, he finessed me. As far as like the game modes that I think that you should be rocking with the Gale in, I think Brawl Ball is probably his best, followed by Hot Zone and then probably Gem Grab. But there are situations where if the other team does have a tank, he's going to be pretty decent in Knockout. So I do think that he's pretty versatile in that manner as well. Definitely recommend some of the more tanky game modes for him to pick if you're going to go with him like as a first or second pick there. But also, he's just pretty fun, and he's got a very broken hypercharge. That is going to be probably the thing that makes Gale stand out on this list the most, is how good his hypercharge is. Hopefully I can get it in a moment here, and then I'll be able to show you off. But I mean, how did I not get hit by anything there? That's a little bit crazy. I do not know how I'm alive, but once I get my health recharged, then we'll go ahead and rip this hypercharge, show you guys what I'm talking about, because a real Gale super is already broken. It goes through walls, it stuns people, and then you get a hypercharged Gale super, and you do freaking 2.8 thousand damage. You can cycle it out so easily, just like that. And would you look at that? I waited the entire game, I got my hypercharge, and then we just score a goal. So that's probably about all I have to say about the Gale, guys. I feel like I could not have illustrated my point more perfectly. So with that being said, that's going to be number 7 on our list. Let's get into Brawler number 6. Brawler number 6 on our list is going to be another tank counter. That's going to be a very good theme throughout this video, but another tank counter, probably a little bit better than Gale. His name is Clancy, and this might come as a little bit of a surprise to you guys. I know I do not play this Brawler in ranked like ever, but he's absolutely broken. One of the best tank counters by far. And then once you get to that level 3 crab, I mean, he goes from number 6 to number 1 on my list, like, easily. You can't really stop a level 3 crab. It's pretty much impossible to deal with. You just start spraying those supers. You have so much damage. You have so much movement speed. A tank is literally not going to be able to do anything into you. Just go up there, spray your stuff, and then you're just pretty much cooking. So let me use my gadget here to make sure I can get leveled up. As far as the best build to go for Clancy, I mean, definitely damage gear. As far as the gadget, though, I don't really think it matters all that much. If you're confident you'll be able to get leveled up, definitely go with the crab dash. But otherwise, if you're going into like a little bit trickier of matchups, like if you're going into a Serge, you're going into a Gale, I would probably recommend rocking with the other build, just so you can make sure that you get that level 3, because the worst thing in the world is a hard stuck crab, and you do not want to be that guy. I promise you do not want to be that guy. But look at that freaking super, bro. I feel like that's enough said. I don't even think I need to explain why level 3 crab is broken, but if you can get a level 3 crab, then you are going to win the game. And I feel like that's just kind of a constant. There aren't too many brawlers that have a win condition like that, so for that reason, the crab is going to make my top 6, even though I never use him in ranked. Let's get into number 5. Brawler number 5 on our list today, guys, is going to be, in my opinion, the best thrower if we're ignoring Juju, which we are, but it is Larry and it is Lori. We got 2 brawlers in one, little combo here. But the reason I think he's the best thrower in the game is just because he doesn't get countered by things that other throwers get countered by. Like a Mortis, a Kenji, they could be dashing onto you, but if you've got that super ready, there's just really not a whole lot they can do about it. Besides that, he's also got fantastic range, fantastic damage. His shot hits twice. He's got like decent enough area control because of that aspect of him, and his super's great into tanks. I mean, you can cycle it very quickly. You can use your gadgets to keep yourself alive. And really, there's just not a super big weakness to this guy. As far as like game modes and maps you can play him on, like honestly, like pretty much anything. I think he's one of the most versatile brawlers in the game as far as that goes. Like you can use him in bounty and knockout easily. He's great in gem grab. He's great in hot zone. He's great in brawl ball. There's pretty much not a situation where he's going to be like an objectively bad pick in. So for that reason, I do think that he's the best thrower in the game. I know he doesn't have a hypercharge, but I mean, if you don't need a hypercharge, like, then you don't need a hypercharge. And I feel like Larry's just one of those brawlers. His like basic idea of him has been broken for so long. He hasn't been balanced ever since he's come into this game. Like this is probably the healthiest he's ever been in the meta, and he's still a top 5 brawler in my professional opinion. So that's going to be why Larry's going to be number 5 and our highest thrower on the list. But let's get into Brawler number 4. Alright guys, hopping into Brawler number 4 on our list. It is going to be another fan favorite, one of my favorite brawlers. It is Gus, and we're showing off the gruesome Gus on the channel for the first time, so that's pretty fun as well. But I think that Gus is one of the best ranged brawlers in the game. He's one of the best mid brawlers in the game, and he's also very versatile. I mean, you can pick him. He's got great synergies with a lot of the other meta brawlers in the game, like Frank and Daryl, for example. I think that the Gus Daryl strategy is one of the best, because you can pretty much just give him that shield. He's going to roll in. He's going to have extra damage, and there's really not going to be a whole lot the other team can do to kill him. So I think that Gus is pretty fantastic. He's got a great super. The only thing about Gus that is a little bit tricky is it is very difficult to hit his super consistently, especially if you've got like a Kenji or a Mortis teammate, somebody with like good mobility. It's going to be pretty hard to lock that in, especially if you're not like in comms with your teammates or anything. But he's got a very easy shot to hit as far as snipers go, which I think makes him very good. He's got a very broken gadget. I mean, look at that. Just did so much damage to those guys. If you're able to like line it up right, you can pretty much just get a free kill with it. We'll give our shield to our Frank here, and there's really nothing that should be able to stop him at this point. And that's just a little bit of an example of how broken he can be in the right combination. So especially if you're like playing with teammates and you can like make sure that they're drafting like another tank for you to work with, and Gus is fantastic. one of the safest picks, one of the better mid carriers, mid gem grab carriers and gem grab. I don't know why that took me so long to say. We're going to get a gadget kill there. We're going to give this guy a shield. And for some reason, he decided that walking it in was not in his future. But it is all good. It does not matter too much. But I think with the combination of his easy projectile shot to hit, he's got the super good synergy with that shield with the other tank teammates, and he's got a broken gadget that can confirm kills. Those reasons all combined, guys, is going to make Gus our 4th best brawler in the game, and probably the best range brawler in the game as well. So with that being said, guys, let's move into our top 3 brawlers. All right, guys, our first brawler that's going to be breaking into our top 3 is going to be the best tank counter in the game, in my opinion. His name is Serge, and he is just super broken in pretty much every aspect of the game right now. The only thing about Serge is that it does take him a little bit of time to get leveled up in some situations, but with this broken gadget, with basically just working your matchups well, you're basically able to get that level pretty free. And then once you've got that level 2, you're going to be fast, you're going to be able to start cycling your level 3, and most importantly, you're going to be able to start cycling those hypercharges. The Serge hypercharge is absolutely one of the most underrated things in the game, in my opinion. I think it's so broken. It's like so undefendable. Like, you can just shoot the gem carrier from literally all the way downtown, super far away, and there's nothing that anybody can do about that. With this gadget too, bro, it's so broken. The gadget, if you guys did not know, you use your shield, and if anybody touches you, you get 3 shots. So you spam out 2 shots, use your shield, you get your shots back, and then, like, what is the other team actually supposed to do about it at that point? I've already got a hypercharge charged up too. You guys see how quickly we're able to get that. Definitely, if they were going to do balance changes to Serge, I would say that they need to make it so that his hypercharge goes a little bit slower, because he gets it too quickly, and then once you get that, as we're about to see, we are about to tear up this other team here. Also with his super, now that you're able to, like, jump over walls too, it's so fantastic in that aspect. God, we just absolutely cooked those kids. We're going to jump onto this as well. Maybe we'll do a little bit of this action. Like, look at that, guys. What is the other team actually supposed to do here? My team is definitely going to have this game locked in. My Mortis scores without even trying. But I think that Serge is definitely the best tank counter in the game. And once we get into Brawlers number 1 and 2, you guys are going to see why I think Serge is probably the best counter to those guys as well. But with that being said, guys, let's get out of Brawler number 3 and get into our top 2 Brawlers to push in ranked. Jumping into our Brawler number 2 on the list, and this was not a very easy choice for me. It took a lot of deliberation for me to figure out if this was going to be number 2 or if it was going to be number 1. But I've settled with Kenji as our number 2 Brawler here, guys. How did my guy get super that fast? Okay, but anyway, the reasons why Kenji is so broken, you can definitely make the argument that he's the best brawler in the game. But he's got the absolutely amazing super. You are immune from anything for so much time, and you get so much damage. I mean, like, look at that. We just absolutely deleted Piper. Got half of Chester's health down as well. His gadget is super broken. Like, there's actually nothing fair about his gadget at all. You basically just go in, spam all your buttons, and then voila, you reload half of your freaking HP. Not fair, can't be real. But with that combination with his super, it basically allows you to just dash up, dash in, get so much damage, taken, do so much damage, and then you just use your super, use your gadget, and you're back at full HP. You avoided all those shots. You're able to get so many squad wipes. It's actually so busted. I'm able to hit people from, like, halfway across the freaking map. I feel like it's such a zero-skill brawler. Obviously, like, you got to know when to go in and when not to. But Kenji's super broken. Obviously, you guys know I love banning me some Kenji. I do think that he is one of the brawlers that you essentially have to get out of the picture if the other team has the first pick. But I do think that he's going to be a little bit less broken than our number 1 brawler, guys. So let's go hop into that and see if I'm right. With Kenji out of the way as our number 2 brawler, you guys probably had a pretty decent idea of who is going to be number 1. But if you guys guessed it correctly, congratulations. It is the mouse. It is Mo. I think Mo is absolutely broken. The reason I think that he's a little bit better than Kenji is just because you can play at range a lot more effectively, which means that you basically have no chance of getting fully hard countered. I do think that Kenji does have a little bit more potential to counter. Mo, on the other hand, though, you have, like, basically 2 spike shots as your main attack, and then you have, like, a freaking Daryl super as your super. Like, it's so broken. I just go in, spam out. He's got a good gadget. It's able to cycle so quickly. He's able to do so much damage. If you're able to get those 2 shots to hit, like, it actually does a ridiculous amount. And then you're also just able to make so many plays. He's so good. He's so versatile. He's definitely like a first pick lock on pretty much almost any single map. You can run him in any single game mode. Same goes for Kenji. I didn't really speak on that, but like literally any game mode you can run Mo or Kenji. And Serge as well. I mean, those 3 brawlers, that's why they're the top 3. I think that they're the most versatile. They're the most broken. They're the most oppressive to the opponents here. Let's just go in, absolutely tear these kids apart. It's just so broken, guys. It's actually not even fair at all. You guys probably already know this, so I probably won't even need to spend too much more time on it, guys. But Mo is going to be my best brawler to push in ranked. If you have one brawler that you can upgrade to level 11 that you think that you'll be able to get masters with, I think it is probably going to be the mouse overall. Even though he's not my favorite brawler to play, I think he's just super broken. For that reason, guys, I strongly recommend playing the mouse in ranked whenever you can. But that's going to wrap it up for our list here. Let's hop into the outro. All right, guys, that's going to do it for our top 10 list today. I'll put the list up on the screen so you guys can get a screenshot if you want some of that reference there. But I would say the general theme of this video is that Mo and Kenji are the top 2 brawlers. Outside of that, the best brawlers are going to be tank counters, starting with Serge, and then like Clancy, Gale, Chester. Those brawlers are all going to be pretty solid into that. And then we've got Larry is just our best thrower, Mandy's our best sniper, Rico's going to be good on those maps with a lot of walls, and Daryl's probably going to be our best tank. So I feel like that's kind of the thought process behind this video. But guys, the main thing to keep in mind when you're drafting is that Mo and Kenji are great, and brawlers that counter Mo and Kenji are going to go pretty early in the draft. So that's going to be like my overall advice if you're just looking for some like top meta draft analysis there. But that's going to be all I've got to say for today, guys. I do really hope that you enjoyed this different type of content. If you guys do enjoy the list type of videos, please make sure that you let me know in the comments, guys, because I do love playing ranked. But if you guys do like these list type of videos, I'm definitely willing to throw them into the mix more often. So make sure you guys are making your voices heard down below. But also, if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. We're on that road to 4,000 subs, guys, and I really do appreciate everybody who's subscribed already. So thank you guys so much for watching the entire video today. I hope you have an absolutely amazing rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace out.